What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Today I have an exciting video for you guys. If you remember recently, we did a first impressions on the Oz Machine Company Roosevelt, and we did the Koenig Arius. I did have 3 knives sent into the channel for me to take a look at, and I have to say, this third knife is probably the one that I am most excited to check out. So if that tells you anything, that tells you this is going to be a real doozy. Now, when we did the Koenig, there's 2 knives in here. When we did the Koenig, I unzipped it this way and pulled that knife out. So if we go this way, we should be getting to the other one. And the reason I'm saying that is because I have not checked this knife out yet. So we will be experiencing this guy for the first time together, and I am stoked. So yep, I'm right. And here we go. Oh, baby, look at this crazy ass thing. So what we have, guys, is the Grimsmo Knives Norseman. Look at that thing. Oh, I've only ever seen this thing in videos and in pictures. I have to say, it's thinner than I thought that it would be, but I also felt that way about the Roosevelt as well. That was a little thinner than I expected, and this is the same ordeal here. So we have a single stud, and we have a rear flipper tab for deployment. We have an exposed frame lock there. We do have some knurled titanium here. Some sort of like cross hatch pattern, some sort of cross pattern. When we do the full overview, this is just a first impressions, guys. When we do the full overview of each one of these knives, we'll be diving into more on the knife and all that sort of thing. Now, I do know, yeah, it's right there, CPM 154 for the steel, which I think Grimsmo, you know, that's what they kind of specialize in, is 154. Choo! Look at that action. She just drops. Look at that. No effort, nothing. It just drops. That's crazy. Look at the tolerances on this thing. Wow. I've seen some tight tolerances, but that might take the cake right there. There's no room for air. That is impressive in itself right there. Detent is tuned nicely on this guy. That big front of the knife, it's a little thicker, a little heavier, a little bulkier. I think that helps it swing out and then swing closed for sure. But they've definitely dialed in around the pivot what this thing really needs. Lockup is solid at like 50% or so. So that looks like a solid lockup. During the overview, I'll get with Jamie, and he let me test the Roosevelt. He let me test the Arius. We'll test this guy if he allows. We'll test this and see what that lock is like. See if it's nice and strong. See what happens. We will be testing the Roosevelt and the Arius on the overviews. He did give me permission for those two. But we haven't really talked about this one yet. Jamie, hey man, he sent these in for me to check out, and huge shout out to him for doing so. So we have this crazy recurve Tanto-esque style blade with this huge, I don't even know what the hell you would call this. It's almost like a elongated harpoon reverse. I don't know what the hell this is called. It really reminds me of a Tanto. Now you do have a thicker grind. This is a dull grind, and you have a very deep hollow here. And then this blade is something unlike I've ever seen before, at least how they finished this. I have never seen anything quite like this. This thing is insane. And then up here, this is a flat, I believe, and that is going to be, you know, for a little bit heavier use, a little bit harder use, maybe some scraping, that sort of thing. I'm not sure. Yeah, the edge feels pretty good. I don't know how much Jamie has used this. Yeah, I don't know how much Jamie has used this. It's got a pretty good edge on it, though, I will say, just off feel there. The other thing I can say is this handle is extremely comfortable. I'm not getting any hot spots. It's a little thinner, like I said, than I thought it would be, but that does not seem to be causing any issues. I can get a full, nice, comfortable grip on this guy. Your flipper tab is going to act similarly to a guard there, but it looks like here they give you enough room to kind of choke up. Now, you wouldn't want to go too crazy there. I guess you could. Maybe like 3/4, you know, kind of at the middle of your knuckle there. And that allows you to, and this is softened and chamfered, so this is going to allow you to, you know, get kind of up on this edge. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say Jamie won a lottery to get this knife. He had to enter a lottery, so I don't know if this is some sort of special edition or if that's how they work things there at Grimsmo, but I know he had to enter into something to try to buy this knife, and he ended up winning a spot and was able to buy this. So this is a fairly costly knife. We'll dive more into that in the overview, and we'll dive into a lot more on the overview, but just because I've never checked this knife out or anything like that, I'm kind of interested. We're at 8.5 inches overall, and then you're getting about 3 1/4 of cutting edge. Now that, you know, you will be getting about 1 inch there, and then about 2.5 inches there. So you're really looking at more like 3.5 inches of total edge here. And then you have this nice little 50-50 area for a choke up spot. That's a unique design cue right there. Typically, you know, where there's a flipper, you're going to have an issue getting up on the edge there. Let me see, do I have anything? So like this SOG Vision, just for example, you cannot, you know, you can, but it's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be ideal. You know, you could get up there for some very light duty type tasks, but you're not going to have that issue with the Norseman here. For some reason, I keep thinking Rask, but this is not the Rask. This is the Norseman. I have the Rask on the brain for some reason. Kind of interesting, a very interesting design. Where they could have put a second stud, they didn't. Very interesting, very unique and crazy blade shape. And I like unique, I like crazy, especially if it's still functional. Boy, this thing is unique looking. I'm trying to just soak this in, but still continue, you know, with this first impressions. This thing is just, you have a crazy blade shape. You have a crazy stepped finish on the blade itself. Single stud with a rear flipper. You have this crazy pivot here with some like laser engraving done on the pivot, which will be Grimsmo's emblem there. And then you also have a little emblem here on the titanium pocket clip. You do have a lanyard hole down here, very minimal hardware. You have 2 body screws, show side pivot, told pivot side, plus 2 body screws, open construction, 2 standoffs. You have hidden screws for the pocket clip. You'll be able to access those through the inside of the scale there, it looks like. I mean, the tolerances on this thing are insane. Lockup is solid. What else did I want to check? Rock solid lockup, guys. No bending, no twisting. Man, this thing is just ridiculous, guys. 7265. I don't know if that's the number that this is or how they identify these. I'm guessing that might be what number this is, maybe. But I'm not sure how they classify these knives. I have no clue about Grimsmo knives. I've always wanted to check out one of these because I always thought it was a crazy, unique knife. You know, especially the handle's not so unique, not so crazy. But when you get here, this thing is just a different animal. Different animal all the way around. Flipper tab works very good. You have a couple jimps there, but it works. It works very well. Man, this thing is just different. And then that recurve, that slight recurve. This thing is beautiful and crazy all at the same time. Lock bar relief cut there. No internal milling. Very thin scales. This is going to be, we'll get into more of this. I'm just curious here. Wow. You're under 0.4. You're at like 0.38 for your handle thickness. That is damn thin. The whole blade has been crowned. This is insane, guys. I wonder, you must be able to, I'm wondering, you might be able to flip that around. I'm wondering if you could get, you know, an aftermarket set of studs and put 2 on here, because it's not interfering with the handle or the lock there, and it's not going to interfere with it opening. So I don't see why not, but you will need, you know, you would need proper ones, because this is different. I'm kind of at a loss for words on this guy. This thing is crazy. I've never checked anything like this out, and there's a lot to take in with this guy. It's unique, but it's useful. Crazy blade shape. I mean, it's gonna work. It's going to work. It's not going to do everything perfectly. You know, getting in behind strapping and that sort of thing, it's not going to be the best for, but no Tanto is. This is going to be kind of a work user type of a knife. You know, a very expensive one. But it looks, you know, like this is made to be a user. Nice and comfortable up here. Man, you guys will have to let me know down in the comments what you think of this thing. It's clean looking. Oh man, this thing is just insane. I love the pivot there. Very simple construction as far as your hardware is concerned. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this thing. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about this guy. We'll go ahead and we'll do a full in-depth overview of this too here to come very soon. We will dive into this all the way, you know, find out more information about this particular knife, what Jamie had to do and go through to get this. What else is there to find out? We'll dive into more of the specs and all that sort of thing. Maybe do a little testing with the knife on the blade, on the lock, on the carry, all that sort of thing. And we'll get a way better idea of what's going on here. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button before you head out, guys. Let me know what you think of this thing down below. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.